Abigail, it's a new vampire movie with a twist, and I think it's going to do better than a lot of people think. I'm Danny Alex, and welcome back to Poprageous, my friends. I'm a screenwriter here in Los Angeles, and damn, I love movies. And I love a great horror. It's my favorite genre to write, and this is a spoiler-free review for the most part. At the end, I'll give you my score out of 10, so check it out, and let me know if you agree in the comments or if you think I missed something. I mean, I'll be honest, guys, this movie surprised me. It was really good and had plenty of things to like with a screenplay that made it more than just interesting. It was entertaining with a fantastic young actress that gave this horror concept life and believability. As much as a vampire movie can be believable, I guess.
I don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
I think, like most people, I had no idea what to expect. It kind of feels that most vampire movies and TV shows, they kind of feel repetitive, basically doing the same thing in a slightly different way. In Abigail, 6 criminals are hired to kidnap a young ballet dancer and told to take her to a secluded home. Now, this is a horror movie, so of course, a secluded home is essential. She's the daughter of a powerful underworld figure, and I'm thinking that you could probably guess it's Dracula. A couple of technical notes that I'll mention. She's not really his daughter. I mean, he turned her into a vampire a few hundred years ago, so I guess that in vampire lingo, it counts as a daughter. The problem is that Dracula kills his victims, so it doesn't really work out well for the prospective moms. And in reality, she's not a young girl. She may look like one, but she's actually a 1,000-year-old person stuck in a 10-year-old body.
That changes everything.
I first want to talk about the things I liked. Every good movie has to start with a good screenplay, and Abigail is a very well-written screenplay. They started with a unique vampire concept and injected a relatively fresh idea into the horror genre by focusing on Dracula's daughter, with a young actress who did a fantastic job, Alisha Weir.
She's amazing. Amazing.
Actually, all of the cast did a pretty good job, with each character finding their own space to fit well into the movie's comedic horror style. The movie did a great job at keeping you wondering what was going on, with plenty of twists that felt natural, surprising you to the point that made the ending a bit of an open book. You didn't really know what to expect, and I like that. The pace of the movie felt good. It was a nice speed that had a few pauses that kept your attention as the plot made its twists and turns. The pinky swear was a great way to emotionally connect Abigail with Joey, played by Melissa Barrera, and have an ending that you probably weren't expecting. Anytime the writers do creative things with the antagonist, it makes for a much more interesting third act.
Go on.
If you don't like the horror genre, you may not like this movie, although it has more than enough story that almost anyone could actually enjoy it. It's not really scary. There are a few jump scares that work quite well. And yeah, there's blood. A lot of frickin' blood, but you have to expect it with a movie that firmly places itself into the comedic horror genre. The movie had plenty of suspense, and it was set in an old home that worked so well to help fuel the EBGBs.
Is that a word?
Yes.
The movie set itself up well right from the beginning and wasted no time getting into the story to get you invested into what these people are doing and what they're doing it for. I always place huge importance on the first 2 or 3 scenes because it's in the beginning that the movie will grab your attention or have you drift off into boredom. Once the audience loses interest, it's hard to get it back, and the beginning has to set up the story convincingly and make us care for the characters and the challenges that are being set up for them. There were a few things that I thought that Abigail could have done better, or maybe differently is the right word. There's an over-reliance on blood in a couple of scenes. I mean, I don't mind bodies exploding or vampire hands melting. It's the streams of blood coming out of the mouth. If you saw The Evil Dead Rise, which a movie which I actually liked a lot, also did this to a fault. It just makes the movie feel clown-like to me, and not in a good comedic way. Like a lot of horror movies, some of the character decisions can feel out of place, but of course, you can't have characters just sitting in one place. That would become a little boring. I would have also liked maybe a little bit more creep factor, but then that may have taken away from the comedic feel. I mean, who knows?
Well, you make a good point.
When Frank, played by Dan Stevens, turns, it didn't feel overly convincing. It felt that his makeup maybe needed a more sinister appearance and to feel more evil, but that may have been a question of preference and how that character is ultimately set up. To me, evil needs to look like evil, especially since the character didn't begin the movie that way and goes from being a protagonist to being an antagonist. This is a movie that only had a budget of $28 million with an opening weekend of $15 million. So there are going to be some really nice profits coming from this movie. The good points far outweigh the things that may have been lacking. Reviewing a movie after it's finished gives 20/20 hindsight. It's easy to say what should have been done. Movies are hard to make, but one thing remains consistent for almost every successful movie. It starts with a great screenplay, and Abigail is no exception. I think the writers, production team, and cast did a pretty good job on this movie, and I'll give them a tip of the hat for their finished product. It's a great horror movie, and this is the kind of movie that Hollywood needs more of. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving Abigail a score of 7.5. It's a comedic horror movie with plenty of charm thanks to Alisha Weir, and one that has enough meat in the plot and screenplay to keep you invested in the movie and characters right to the end, and come away actually liking Abigail. That's all I got for today, guys. Subscribe if you like what you heard, be a part of the community, and I will see you in the next video.